When Google does things, anything that is, the market pays attention. Google today re-signed a bit of a licensing agreement that they hold with Samsung that's going to see their search and their Chrome browser be the defaults on all Samsung smartphones. Now, the way that Samsung's going to get paid is it's going to get paid on an ad revenue basis based off the built-in search feature on the Samsung phones, but the analysts are estimating that Google's going to end up paying upwards of $3.5 billion in payouts to Samsung for the cash that they're bringing in by Samsung using Google as their default. Now, Google also will be paying Apple, what they analysts assume, upwards of $3 billion this year as well for the exact same feature being the default. Google is the default. I mean, we were at a point in time a few years ago where people were wondering what was going to be who were going to be the ones that were competing for this final spot. I kind of foresaw Google. They've already dominated search for so long that I thought in the smartphone market, once Google was rolling with Android, I didn't think that there was going to be a whole lot of competition, to be honest with you. I didn't see Google getting out there with the actual phone and being the phone leader, even though we've seen Google make an attempt at it. But Google's back to doing exactly what they do best, and that's being a service on the smartphone. Don't worry about building the technology and doing all that. Google does the infrastructure work that makes everything easier. Let's face it, there's nothing in your life that's involved in the internet that isn't easier because of all the analytics that Google does. So Google becomes the continuing default smartphone search, and will have the Chrome browser as the default on all Samsungs for their smartphones, paying out roughly $3.5 billion this year, they assume, in what would be, I don't know, some sort of fees. You would pay this in, it's their kickback. This is your percentage. That's what they're getting, and because it's all based on ad revenue, right? So it's all based on ad revenue, based on clicks in the search feature. So it's totally... It could be zero, but we all know it won't be zero. The analysts are estimating 3.5 and about 3 to Apple. So, I mean, Google, while they're paying out big money, you can imagine the margin that they're making on that money. On the other end, driving people consistently to the Google search engine, there's nobody that does it better.